What up, YouTube? This is your president, the presidential tourist, here in Bartow, Florida, at Oak Hill Cemetery, which was founded in 1848. I'm going to have in a separate video a full tour of this video, or a full tour of the cemetery. But in this video, I want to show you the gravesite of Jacob Summerlin, a well-known historic person around these parts. I'm going to show you his cemetery, but before we, or not his cemetery, but his gravesite, his tombstone. But before we get to that, I'm going to tell you a bit more about him. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, here's some information about Jacob Summerlin. Now, the purpose of this video is really show off his gravesite. It's not going to be super in-depth in his life, so this is only going to cover some basic facts and a bit of his life story. But Jacob Summerlin, he was born February 20th, 1820. He died November 4th, 1893. He had a couple different nicknames. King of the Crackers, King of the Cracker Cow Hunters. It's rumored that he was the first child to be born in Florida after it became a U.S. territory. I read that in a few different articles about him, but I haven't been able to fully verify that. But if it's true, it's pretty interesting. Florida honored him as one of the 3 most influential Floridians over the last 500 years. That's another interesting, well, hopefully it's correct. I've seen it. I had also a couple different places about him, but I haven't fully verified that either. But he was really influential back in his day, so I'm not surprised. He became wealthy raising cattle. By the age of 40, from what I've read, he was one of the richest men in Florida. And he also donated a lot of land, like 40 acres to the county, for the county seat in Polk County. He donated land, 40 acres for a school, 40 acres for some churches. So he was pretty generous with those things, from what I understand. He helped Orlando become the county seat for Orange County. He founded the Summerlin Institute. Like I mentioned earlier, he became very wealthy raising cattle. He really built a cattle empire in the state of Florida. He had also a 2-year deal with the Confederacy to sell them cattle, which he did. He sold them a lot. But from what I understand, he didn't make any money off of it. So either they paid him in Confederate money, which became worthless, or IOUs, because by the end of the war, he didn't get any money out of it from them. So during this time, he turned to blockading, running blockades, and he was able to get paid in like Spanish gold. I guess he sold cattle down in Cuba, for instance, and was able to make money out of that way. He was a member of the 1st Florida Cavalry Company A during the Civil War. He was a 2nd Seminole War veteran. The war happened in 1835 to 1842. He learned to crack a cattle driving whip by age 7. So he had a pretty influential life during his time. Like I said, this is not going to cover everything, but there's a lot more out there. But I thought an interesting quote that was attributed to him. "I'm nothing under the sun but a native-born, sun-baked old Florida cracker." That's what he was said to have said to an interview in a newspaper back in the day. But yeah, like I said, there's more out there on him. Look him up. But I just want to give a few facts about him. But he is pretty well known, and especially in the Polk County, Florida area. All right, now let's get on and check out his grave. All right, here he is. He's buried here along with several members of his family, Jacob Summerlin. He has this whole section here. Of course, he has one of those Confederate markers, which if you see one of them, means they're supposed to be a Confederate veteran. That's what I've been told. It says CSA, has the Confederate flag in front. Then it has 1861, 1865, and it has something there, I believe in Latin, Dio something. But you see him here, and of course his wife, and then other members of his family. So I'll show you them all.